Hello friends, following Kamkama TV Rwanda. I'm again happy to be with you today. In our last video, we discussed about the definition of the grievance. We discussed about types of grievances and forms of grievances. Today, we are going to talk about causes of grievances. We talk about effects of grievances and procedures in handling grievances, and then we end with what we can always remember when we are handling a grievance. My dear followers, causes of grievances. In fact, in every organization, in every institution, there are reasons why employees may have grievances, but there are also general causes of grievances. Number one, it is unsatisfactory working conditions. Every employee, if the working conditions does not satisfy him or her, for sure there will be a grievance. Also, unsatisfactory management policies. If management policies are not satisfying the employees, automatically they will have grievances. Next is about unsatisfactory wages and salaries. When an employee is not satisfied with the rewards, wages or salaries, in fact, he or she will be aggrieved, and that is a grievance. There is also unfair or unjust treatment. If an employee is treated unfairly or in an unjust way, automatically there will be a grievance. Also, there is too much workload or too much work pressure. If an employee has a lot of work, lot of responsibilities, a lot of tasks to perform, for sure they may be a grievance. Also, unachievable goals or targets. Sometimes in an institution, the management may have a lot of goals, sometimes which are very hard to attain, and at the end, an employee will be appraised to see if he or she is doing well. But if the goals are not unachievable, automatically there will be a problem, and that is a grievance at work. Also, there is objections to the general methods of supervision related to the attitudes of the superior towards the employee, like bias, like favoritism, and any other divisions may cause employees to feel aggrieved. Also, there is organizational change. In fact, change is always part of our living, but naturally, man will resist to any change. So if there is a slight change in an organization, employees may tend to not be happy with the change, and they will aggrieve. And my last point here is miscellaneous reasons like violation in respect of promotions, safety methods, transfer, disciplinary rules, to mention but a few. So if in an organization between employees, maybe employer and employees, or employees to employees, if there is lack of respect, if there is lack of safety methods, automatically employees will have the grievance. Now, in any institution, if grievances are not handled well, there are many effects that may result from grievances. Now, on the production, we are going to discuss the effects of grievances on the production. On the production, if employees have grievances and the management does not take steps to solve those grievances, there will be low quality of production. There will be low productivity. There will be increase in the wastage of materials. There will be spoilage or leakage of machinery. There will be increase in the cost of production per unit. Here you may ask why? Because employees are not working with attention, they are not working with the ability. For sure, they will use a lot of machines, they will use a lot of raw materials, and you may find that there is an increase in the cost of production per unit, which automatically will affect the profits negatively. But also on the employees, if in organization employees have grievances, there is an effect on the employees. Number one, there will be increase in the rate of absenteeism and turnover. For sure, if an employee is not happy, one, he or she will always be absent from work. If that is not enough, there will be also employee turnover. They will start looking for other jobs where they think that they will not have problems. Also, there is reduction in the level of commitment, sincerity, and punctuality. If an employee is not happy with the work he or she is doing, automatically there will be no commitment to work. There will be no sincerity at work. Because of that, also punctuality will be a problem. Next point is increase in the incidence of accidents. Whenever an employee is not happy, it means he is also not attentive at work. There will also be a lot of accidents at work. There is reduction in the level of employee morale. Morale comes from happiness. If you're not happy, don't expect morale. So if employees have grievances, they will lose their morale, and at the end, it will affect their working capacity. But also on the managers, there is also an effect of grievances on the managers. One, there will be strained superior-subordinate relation. The relationship between superiors and their subordinates will not be good. Reason being, everyone is thinking that the problem they have is as a result of another part. Managers will be saying that the reason why my organization is not working well, it is because of these employees. And employees will be saying the reason why they are not happy, it is because of the managers. So superior-subordinate relationship will automatically be not good. There is increase in the degree of supervision and control. Because the employees are lacking commitment, there is excessive absenteeism, there is no morale. It means the supervisor or managers will increase the supervision and control to make sure that the work is going on well. There is increase in discipline cases to handle. Also, there is increase in unrest and thereby machinery to maintain industrial peace. Now, a grievance needs to be handled immediately so that it cannot affect employees, managers, and the production process. But when we are handling a grievance, there are steps to be followed. We are going to discuss about 6 steps to follow when you are handling a grievance. Step number 1, you need to identify a grievance through observation, previous complaints, open door policy, opinion survey, or interviews. So the management needs to always be in position of identifying a grievance so that they may find it and it can be handled immediately through observing, through previous complaints, through open door policy. They allow employees to come in their offices and they say how they think the organization is working, and also interviews. Step number 2, when a grievance has been identified. Step number 2, now you're going to define the grievance correctly, properly, and accurately. When you identify a grievance, now you are going to correctly, properly, or accurately define it and make it, understand it, know the reason, know the roots of that grievance. Step number 3, you correct data, correct information from all parties concerned. So if you find there is a grievance, correct information from all parties you think that are related to the grievance. Then step number 4, when you have got now the information, the data, step number 4 will be analyze and solve the grievance. And when you are solving the grievance now, determine various alternative solutions. Don't think that the only solution you sort of can solve the grievance. Bring various alternatives so that the management, the committee, the disciplinary committee will think of the best. Then step number 5, there is implementation of the solution selected by the management. Among the alternatives in step number 4, now there is prompt redressal or implement the solution selected by the management. The management will select among the possible solutions. They think of the best solution and then it is implemented. Then after implementing it, step number 6 is to make the follow-up and find out that the one who had a grievance is now okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here are points to remember when handling a grievance. So when you are handling a grievance or you're trying to solve the grievance in an organization, always think about these points. Point number 1, always make sure that every grievance is considered important, no matter how irrelevant or insignificant it is or seems to be. Sometimes the management make some mistakes and they take with no attention certain grievances and they think that those grievances are not important, or they think that they cannot affect the organization. But every grievance should be handled with care and should be considered important, no matter how you think that it is relevant. Because the one who has raised that grievance is a human being. He is not happy. So you need to make proper attention to his or her grievance. Next point is about a grievance should be not postponed in the hope that people will see the light themselves. Here, this point is very important. Very important. Sometimes you may hear an employee is raising a grievance, and for you think that it is not too much, you can handle it tomorrow or next week. No. Immediately when a grievance is raised, you should take time immediately and handle that grievance. Point number 3, ladies and gentlemen, managers, all grievances should be put in writing. For proper records, all grievances raised should be put in writings. Next, all relevant facts about the grievance should be gathered by the management and their proper records should be maintained. Now, when you're handling a grievance, you are collecting data, you are defining it. So every detail should be put into writings for future records, for future remembrance, for future reasons. Next point, management should be given ample time to investigate about the grievance. So, however much the grievance is to be considered immediately and not be postponed, but also this does not mean that the management will solve the way it is. No, they have to have much time or ample time to study about the grievance, to collect all necessary information about that grievance. Next, management should make the list of all possible solutions and later evaluate one by one to get a better one. In fact, when a grievance is raised, after identifying it, after collecting much information about it, you need to write down or to list all possible solutions. And then among the possible solutions, the very many solutions that have been thought of, now the best is chosen out of those. And lastly, decision once reached should be communicated to the employees and acted upon by the management. Immediately, ladies and gentlemen, among the many solutions listed down, and then the best is chosen. Now it has to be implemented. So the decision once reached should be communicated to the employees and immediately acted upon by the management so that a grievance can be solved immediately. Managers, superiors, always remember that when a grievance is not solved, it grows to conflicts, and conflicts may grow to something that can destroy your organization. I call upon to everybody who has the responsibility of solving grievances in organizations to always solve the grievance before it becomes something bad. I call upon everybody to always subscribe to my channel, share, like, so that the next video, when it is out, you will immediately be notified. Thank you so much. You're welcome.